Now, if this is the case, class, now this is, by the way, this is totally different from having x times x plus 6 equals 0. Okay? You cannot equate this by -5. It will give you a wrong answer. Okay? So what do we do when instead of 0, we have a number here or an integer? Okay? Like this one and this one. Okay? If it's not equal to 0, so we need to put the -5 back to the other side. Okay? So what do I mean by this? It requires expansion again. Okay? First step is to expand the equation first. Okay? And then you transform to standard form. So let's do the first two steps. So let's expand letter A. So we have x squared, okay, or x squared plus 6x. And then what do we do with -5? We transpose it on the left side or to the left side. So it becomes plus 5 equals 0. Okay, is that clear? Sec 2? Okay, so this is now in standard form. Okay, so we expanded and made it into its standard form. This is in standard form now. Okay, and then that's the time we factorize it again. So how do you factorize this? So obviously 5 is not a perfect square, so this can only be done by guess and check. Okay, so this is x, and then 5 here. What are the factors of 5? The sum is 6. So it's basically 5
1,
times,
5.
or 5 times 1. Okay, so your answers are, or the factors are x plus 5, and then x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so those are the factors now. So what do we do next? We just equate each factor to 0 or by 0. So this one, x plus 5 equals 0, and then the other one's x plus 1 equals 0. So x is -5, and then here is x is equal to -1. Okay, so that's it. So the values of your x is -5 and -1. Okay, so that's for letter A. Do you have any question? Okay, again, if it's not equal to 0, you need to expand again and then transform to standard form. And then that's when you factorize everything. Okay, so let's have one more. Okay, so again, this is not equal to 0, this is equal to 1. Okay, so we need to again expand this and then we transform to standard form. So we should get here 2y times 8y is 16y squared. Okay, plus, so 2y times 3, 6y, and then minus 1 equals 0. So that's it. Okay. So what do we do to factorize this? Okay. So this is by guess and check. Okay. So this one is, so 16y. So let's have, so we can have 8y, 2y, maybe 16y, and 1. But I believe that this is the correct pair. Okay. And then for 1, it's basically 1 and a -1. Only just that. Okay. Okay, so let's try to answer this. Do you have any question, class, so far for letter B? Okay. All right, so let's try if the correct pair is correct. Okay. So 8y. 8, so this is 8y. Let's say plus 1. And then 2y minus 1. It should give us 6y. Okay, so the inner is, this is 2y. And then the outer is -8y. So this is -6y. So it's incorrect because this is plus 6y. So let me switch their places. Okay. So let me make this -1 and then this is +1. Okay. So the inner is 2 negative 2y, and then the other is 8y. So solving that, so you get 6y, which is the same as this. So this is the correct pair now. Okay, so that's the case. So we have the correct pair. So we equate each factor by 0. So we have 8y minus 1 equals 0, and then 2y plus 1 equals 0. So y here is equal to 1 over 8, then y here is equal to negative 1 over 2. So that's it. Okay, that's your answer for letter B. Okay, Secto, do you have any question? So for letter A, so we got x times x plus 1 equals 6. Okay, so how do we do this again? We expand. So it becomes x squared plus x, and then transposing negative, 6, it becomes minus 6. Darren, why did you erase this? This is the correct method. Okay, you were here, and then you remove this. Okay, and then obviously, how do you factorize this? Okay, 6 is not a perfect square, so therefore we can only factorize this by guess and check, right? So this is x, and this is x. And what are the factors of negative 6? The answer is positive 1. So it's positive 3 and negative 2. So when you multiply this, you'll get negative 6. When you add this, you'll get positive 1. So this is the right combination. Okay, so we have x plus 3, then we have x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so these are the factors of our question. So let's solve this now. Let's find the values of x. So we have x plus 3 equals 0, and then the other one is x minus 2 equals 0. So the values of x are negative 3 and 2. Okay, so that's it. That's for letter A. So if you got 2 and negative 3 or negative 3 and 2, you're correct. Okay, okay, so Hannah, you're correct. Okay. Darren, can you please check your work? Okay, I wrote the correct workings here. Of course, Emily, you're correct. Sam, where's your paper?
I think I already got the correct for A. I don't know how to do the B. So yeah,
Okay, B.
Ed.
Okay, so let's go with B. Okay, so for B, basically you need to expand this. So you have 9y minus 81y. Wait, did I miss something here? Oh, it's 9 minus y. Sorry, it's not. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so this is. Wait, this is y. Okay, so this is now 9y squared, right? Equals 2. Now, you should rearrange this. So it should look like the standard form, like this. You have the square in front, and then you have x in the middle, and then you have the constant at the end. So you got negative 9y squared plus 9y minus 2 equals 0. So this is now the standard form, or the standard form. Okay, so I just rearrange them to make it in standard form. Okay, so how do we answer this? Okay, so to answer this, I think this is still guess and check. Okay, so this is guess and check. So we have negative 9y. Okay, so what are the factors of negative 9y? So we got uh, negative 3y, and then 3y. Okay, And that's it. Or maybe negative 9y and y. Okay. But I think the correct factors are this. Okay. And then for negative 2, so what are the factors of negative 2? It's basically 1 and 2. Okay. Negative 2 and 1 or 2 and negative 1. Just that. Okay. So let me try the first, okay, first factors. Okay, so let's have negative 3y minus 2 and then 3y plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so let's try. Now again, this should be equal to 9y. Okay, so let's try this. So we have this. So this is negative 6y, and then this is negative 3y. Okay, so this is negative 9y, which is not the same, right? So what do we do? So we erase this, and then we just switch them, okay? So let's make this, oops. So let's make this positive 2, and then negative 1 here, okay? So this is not the right pair. So this is the right pair, okay? Okay, so let's try it again. So this one is 6y, and then when you multiply the outer, it's 3y. So yeah, we got it. So 9y. So this is now the same with this. Okay. So we are now correct. Okay. So this is the right factors. So what do we do next? So we solve now the values of y. So we got negative 3y plus 2 equals 0. Then we have 3y minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so this is basically negative, wait, so negative 3y equals negative 2, then dividing by negative 3y, y here is equal to 2/3. Okay, for the other one, so this is 3y equals 1, then dividing both sides by 3, y here is 1/3. Okay, so this is your answer for letter B. Number 3a, so we have a squared plus 9a, and then you can factor out a as your common factor. So a squared divided by a, you'll get a here, and then 9a divided by a, we got 9. So you have a and a plus 9 as your factors. So we equate them by 0. So a is equal to 0, and then the other one is a plus 9 is equal to 0. So your answers are 0 or negative 9. Okay, so this one. Now for 3b, okay, so for 3b, so you got b squared minus 7b is equal to 0. Okay, so again, your common factor here is b. So we divide each term by b. So we got b minus 7 equals 0. So you have your factors now. So next step is to equate them by 0. So b is equal to 0, and then the other one is b minus 7 equals 0. So your answers are 0 and 7. Okay, so that's your answer for 3a and 3b. Now let's go to number 4. So for number 4, 4a, your question is k squared plus 12k plus 36 equals 0. Okay, so what do we do with this? Okay, so have you observed both of these are perfect square, so we can apply the special identity that we have. Okay, so basically you will get here um, k plus 6 squared equals 0. So basically you have 2k plus 6. So we have k plus 6 and another k plus 6 equals 0. So therefore, your answers are the same, right? So k plus 6 equals 0 and then k plus 6 equals 0. So I have here k is equal to negative 6 and then the other one is also negative 6. Okay, but then if you just wrote negative 6, it's fine. Okay, so that's 4a. Now it's very similar with 4b. Now for 4b, okay, so I'll skip 4b because they're just the same. So you get uh, 64, and then so your answer for 4b is negative 8. Negative 8, sorry. It's 8 and 8, okay? Now let me skip that, and then let's jump to number 5a. So for 5a, so we got s squared plus 10s plus 21 equals 0, okay? So as you can see, 21 now is not a perfect square. So therefore, we can only solve this by guess and check, okay? So we factorize s, so you have s and s. And then, how do you factorize 21? So factors of 21, sum of 10. So those are 7 and 3, okay? So that's it. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 3 is, 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay, so that's it. We're correct. So your answers are s plus 7 and then s plus 3 equals 0. So what do we do next? Since you have your factors now, so it becomes s plus 7 equals 0, and then the other one is s plus 3 equals 0. So the values of s are negative 7 and negative 3. So that's it. So that's number 5a. And then lastly, I gave you guys 5g. Okay, 5g. So 5g. Okay, so 5g we have 3y squared plus 7y minus 6 equals 0. Okay. Okay, so again, this is by guess and check. So the factors of 3y squared is just 3y and y. And then for 6, of course, we have a lot, but let me just give you the correct answer now. So it's negative 2 and 3. Okay. So for this one, so we got 3y minus 2, and then y plus 3 equals 0. Again, let's check. Okay, the sum of this, the sum of the inner, and then the sum of the inner and outer should be 7y. So let's try this first. So this is negative 2y, and this one is 9y. So when you subtract that, you get 7y, which is the same with this. Okay, so this is the correct pair. So therefore, you have your factors now. So we equate them each by 0. So 3y minus 2 equals 0, and then y plus 3 equals 0. So our y here, so y is equal to 2 over 3, and then our y here is negative 3. So that's it. So your answers for 5g are 2/3 and negative 3. Your common factor is the factor outside the bracket. So your common factor here is 5c. From 5 and 25, that's 5, of course. And then from between c squared and c, it's c. So 5c is your common factor. And then we divide each term by 5c. So 5c squared divided by 5c is c. And then plus 25c divided by 5, what do you get? You get 5 equals 0. So you do have your factors now, right? So that's it. So 5c, and then just equate both factors to 0. So 5c is equal to 0, and then c plus 5 is equal to 0. So here c is 0, and then the other one is negative 5. So these are your answers for 3c. Okay. And then how about for 4d? Okay, for 4d, As you can see, the first and then the third terms are both perfect square. So we can just apply the shortcut, okay? Or maybe if you want, you can do this method, okay? So you have 5p and then 5p and then you have 7 here and 7. Okay, but even so, it'll give you the same answer, okay? So you can get the root of this and then the root of this. So you'll get, um, what's that? So 5 plus, sorry, it's supposed to be 5p plus 7 squared equals 0. Okay, and then what do we do here? So that means, so we have two 5p plus 7s. Okay, okay, equals 0. So basically 5p plus 7 is equal to 0. Okay, so our p here, or the values of our p are similar. So this is equal to negative 7 over 5. Okay, same with the other one. It's also negative 7 over 5. Okay, that's it. So that's the value of P for 7D. Now, how about for 5B? Now, for 5B, 63 is not a perfect square anymore. So we solve this by guess and check. Okay, so T squared will give us Tn, T and then 63. I mean, again, factors of 63, sum of negative 6. Okay, so what are the correct factors for 63? That will give us negative 16 as its factors. It's 7 times 9, right? So it's a negative 9 and a negative 7. Negative 9 times negative 7 is positive 63. Negative 9 minus 7 is negative 16. So these are the correct factors. So we have, okay, so t plus, sorry, t minus 9, and then the other is t minus 7 equals 0. So therefore, what are the values of your t? So t here is equal to 9, and then t here is equal to 7. And then that's it.